What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the basement. It's Memorial Day weekend, so the fellas are out doing what Americans do best on Memorial Day, which is beer and barbecues. And I'm going to join them very shortly. Because nothing says I love America better than charred animal flesh with ketchup. Before I get to this week's books, I want to give a big happy birthday to my mom. Mom turns 59 today. Well, today for you guys is Tuesday, but today for me is Saturday. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you, and thanks for not throwing out all my comic books all these years. I know I've left them all over the house on many an occasion, and it'll all be worth it soon. We'll be billionaires. I'm sure this stuff will be worth millions and shit. So thanks, Ma. Happy birthday. And before we continue with this week's books, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Vince White, whose book, The Legend of Willpower, just got endorsed by Jim Shooter. This thing's blowing up. You can check it out at the Willpower fan page on Facebook. You can find a link there through Pete's Basement Facebook page. We were supposed to get this book like 2 weeks ago, but due to a fuck up at the post office, we didn't. So, fuck you, post office. Will emailed it to us. That's why email's better than fucking mail. That's why you guys raised the price of stamps to fucking 50 cents, you cunts. Anyway, I had the privilege of reading this book, and I'm going to turn it over to the boys, and we'll get more in-depth review it for you next week. But I want to give you guys a quick rundown of what you're getting yourselves into. Basically, this kid, William Power, is a high school football player whose dad's this big-time scientist, and one of the experiments that his father's working on is this machine that changes the density of matter. Now, if you're like me, you're asking, well, what the fuck do we want to do that for? Vince actually gives us a pretty good explanation. Says, well, you know, what if there's an asteroid heading toward Earth? We can change its density from, you know, weighing 10 times as much as Mount Everest, which would be an ELE event. That's extinction level event for... It's ELE. Extinction level event. You know? And we didn't just get that from the fucking stupid asteroid movie. It's real. Look it up. Anyway, we can change that asteroid to weigh nothing more than paper mache. And it hits and just crumples up in the atmosphere. So we all get to live. Because as near as I can tell, we're all supposed to be dead by now anyway. But I'm digressing. Anyway, bunch of fucking shit happens when the kids after a game go and meet the father over at the science lab. There's this weird shadow demon comes out of the wall. This time-traveling guy comes and like kidnaps the father before the shadow demon can kill him. And the father tries to save his son by throwing him into this weird like little stasis pod, and the matter density machine explodes. So Will now wakes up in the future, some 30, 40 odd years in the future, and the whole world has changed. Will doesn't actually get superpowers in this book. Will remains perfectly normal. But the rest of the world, thanks to the matter density transference thingy, has become super weak. Everything is like light as a feather. Everything, you know, can easily crumple away in your hands. But Will, being perfectly normal like we are, is like now nigh indestructible and has super strength and everything. So it's pretty cool. Kind of like a little take on the hero in Warlord of Mars from Dynamite. He's on Mars, and due to Mars's like lack of gravity and everything, he has like super speed and can jump like fucking Superman and shit. So this is actually a pretty cool story. It's only in issue 1. Issue 2 will be out real soon. One thing I gotta say, it's got a very like classic 1960s comic book feel to it. I definitely suggest you check it out. The artwork is very unique. I really dig the logo, which is like a fist on the guy's chest. That's pretty cool. Another thing I really did like, I found very humorous, was like when Will wakes up in the future, he's like he takes it pretty well. He's like, all right, I'm in the future, and like you'd be like, oh, you know, your father's dead, your whole world's dead, and how the fuck are you accepting of this? And there's this little dude right here that says, and I see the sedative that I gave you is, you know, helping to dumb down the initial shock of it all. Vince, good line. I like that and I appreciate it. So guys, check out the Willpower fan page over on Facebook. You will not be sorry you did. Now on to this week's comic books. One thing I gotta say I was sorry about was Ducktales. I found myself struggling to get through this. I wanted to put it down. I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta finish it. I started it, whatever. It did not draw me in the way Darkwing Duck did. I was a big fan of Ducktales when it was the Disney afternoon, and you know, maybe that's the way it's supposed to stay. It's supposed to stay for kids, because I just couldn't deal with it. Maybe big dummies like me ain't supposed to like it no more. I would definitely recommend it if you have youngsters, like, you know, maybe 10, 11 years old or younger, that you want to get them into reading, or maybe you want to start them off with comic books and stuff. This is a very wholesome story, just like Ducktales was. excuse me, if you're a teacher and you teach young grades and you want to influence the kids to reading, this is definitely a book for you. But for the rest of us whose world pretty much revolves around Spider-Man, Batman, etc., I found it difficult to get into. And I guess maybe that's why I like Darkwing, was because it was, you know, a little bit more superhero based, and it was just easy to withstand, you know? I don't know. Atlas Comics hit big this week with Pheonix 2, Grim Ghost 2, and Wulf 2. My favorite of this being Wulf 2 was actually really cool. Basically, the evil sorcerer guy with half a head has a deal with these other demons that, remember from way back in the first issue, which this second issue is a little late, but he basically makes a deal with these demons that if for every day he gets to live, he has to kill one person. So it's like, wow, that's, you know, that's pretty fucked up. And they're like, does this not suit you? You can come with us now. And he's like, no, I'll kill people. I'll kill people. Chill out. So I actually really enjoyed all three of these. Grim Ghost is pretty slow moving along with the plot. I'm looking for a further explanation of who this dude Michael is. We get an origin, not Michael, oh god, I forgot the fucking guy's name now. Michael is the main character who hit the good guy, the Grim Ghost, and the bad guy all trying to kind of get a hold of because he's got some weird spawn-like powers. And basically we get an origin of the good guy, the Grim Ghost, and the bad guy here, who's honestly, his name is fucking escaping me at this point. I'm not going to take the time to find it in the book. But anyway, it was a cool story. Pheonix is pretty cool. This dude is unable to die, and basically these aliens did some shit to him. They gave him this weird Phoenix costume thing that keeps bringing him back to life. And now he's the girlfriend whose door he arrived at in the first issue has been pretty accepting of the whole thing. You know, what with seeing aliens in the first couple pages and all, and you know, watching her boyfriend get gunned down by cops and just bringing him back to life and all. Only up to issue 2, so I'm going to bear with these for a while. Will I recommend them? Absolutely. I think if you're looking for, you know, something different than what the big 2 has been offering, these are definitely the way to go. I have also, I picked up Green Wake, and I picked up Drums, as I was recommended to by a couple people on Facebook. I haven't read them yet. I want to get Green Wake 1, which has been sold out for a while, so I ordered a second print of that on eBay. So I'm going to take a look at all of those later on once the issue arrives, you know, in the mail and everything, and then I'll come back with a big review with the rest of the fellas. Kirby Genesis Zero. This was actually a really cool book, a refreshing new story. I was afraid that this was going to be like a bunch of, like Dynamite had those other books that Alex Ross was doing the cover to, like the superpower stuff, and I thought this was going to be a take on that. So I was worried I wouldn't understand it, and it doesn't seem like it. This all seems like a bunch of stuff that Jack Kirby was working on that never really saw fruition. It may have seen a couple of random publications here and there. For example, we've got, who are we here? Wait. Because they give you a nice rundown in the back of the book. You've got Silver Star, you've got Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers. These are all like 1970s era books. The artwork in the back, samples of Jack Kirby's stuff, is phenomenal. Alex Ross's take on it is of course phenomenal. And the regular penciler, Jack Herbert, the way they give you like a rundown of Alex Ross's kind of like thumbnails for the issue, and then how Jack Herbert handled the rest of it with his inks and everything. Phenomenal. Awesome. I really enjoyed this book. It's just kind of like, it's a Zero issue, but it's a good introduction for a Zero issue. Basically, this kid who like fancies himself an astronomer is following this space probe that we sent out back in like 1972. That's, you know, crossing past Jupiter, past Pluto, and then into the outer reaches of the galaxy, basically. And the story follows the space probe and how it passes all of these different worlds that, you know, contain the characters that Jack Kirby created. So, no origins yet, no stories yet. It's just kind of a brief one-page introduction to everybody that you're going to see in later issues. With Alex Ross doing the covers and, you know, thumbing out the insides. The artwork is great. The story's good. I'm definitely interested, and I'm definitely going to keep going with it. I was real glad I liked this because they've been hyping this up. Like every fucking third page in Dynamite's books has been an ad for Kirby Genesis. So I was really glad that they delivered big with this. I'd like to know what Ramon thought of this actually, because I'm sure he picked it up. I don't know if Steve did, but I'm definitely sure Ramon did. And you know, for you G.I. Joe heads out there, G.I. Joe Cobra came out. I bought, of course, all 3 covers because I'm fucking retarded. And just basically, you know, still Cobra Civil War going on, and each book is going to take a different look at that, and each book is going to take a look at different characters and how they're dealing with it. This one centers around Tomax of Tomax and Samot fame, the Crimson Twins, Serpentor, and the Baroness. And, you know, like I said, the plot is whoever can kill the most G.I. Joes becomes Cobra Commander. Sounds like a good idea. Now I want to real quick go over these graphic novels with you. Now, first up, JK gave me these 2 graphic novels to read, one of which by Jonathan Ames and Dean Haspiel, called The Alcoholic, which is basically just about this dude with, what do they call those? Addictive personalities. Basically, the guy just likes to get fucked up. And all the bad shit that kind of happens to him in his life since he was a teenager, how he started drinking at an early age, and how, you know, then his parents die in a fucking car wreck a little after his high school graduation, and a whole bunch of other fucked up shit that either way the guy like constantly is trying to get off of drugs and get away from alcohol and drinking, and somehow something always happens, and in a bout of fucking weakness he just always winds up like falling off the proverbial ladder, if you will. And what I find most fascinating is it's a true story. The artwork is done really well. You have a picture of Jonathan Ames in the back, and the way the character is drawn, it looks a lot like him. It's really well done. Will I recommend this book? It was honestly a really interesting read. It's more along the lines of like an autobiography that just happens to be in comic book form than it is at any point could be considered a traditional comic book. It's definitely adults only, I would say. It's a DC Vertigo title. If this might prove an interesting book for like fucking maybe high school kids, you know, like junior, senior year in high school too. You know, maybe kind of pass this along to them if you're having trouble doing the talk with them, because you know, this kind of shit is not stuff you should get into. This guy's fucking sitting there sniffing fucking heroin and cocaine and shit, and he gets chased by these fucking crazy islanders down in like Jamaica that want to fucking cut his head off with a machete because he walked into the wrong part of town looking to score and shit. It's fucking crazy stuff. You know, this is definitely something that should be looked at. It was an interesting book. The other book JK gave me called Astronauts in Trouble on the Moon. This was interesting, actually. It's a simple black and white, very, very simple drawings. It's apparently a collected edition of actually comic books by this title, which I've never actually heard from. I've never heard of it. But this was pretty cool. Basically, this weird, like, Howard Hughes kind of medium mode. The guy's like an evil Howard Hughes, basically. He wants to go to the moon and stay on the moon and dwell on the moon, but at the same time hold the entire Earth hostage because he's rich and he can do that, because basically he's threatening to throw, like, moon rocks at Earth from the moon and shit. Well, obviously from the moon. What a dick. He's threatening to throw, like, moon rocks at the planet Earth because, you know, they draw the comparison of, well, if you drop a penny off of an Empire State Building, it'll go through the engine block of a truck. So imagine a little rock thrown from the moon. Obviously, you know, it takes a lot for granted because with solar winds and everything, and the whole atmosphere, whatnot, it's probably not going to hit us. Because we get hit by a lot of dumb shit now and then. And, you know, thanks to our beloved ozone layer, which is slowly crumbling, we get saved from a lot of that stuff. But it was an overall good story. The heroes of the tale, which are just these Channel 7 reporters, the word unsung comes to mind. They don't know they're going to turn out to be the heroes of the crew. And this crazy guy, crazy Howard Hughes mogul guy, gets betrayed by his security guard Bennett, who realizes like, wow, this guy's fucking crazy. We gotta put a stop to this. Like, you know, we always try to give you guys reviews of graphic novels and stuff and collected works and everything. Especially you guys who don't get to the comic shop every week, or you're just fucking sick and tired of dealing with, you know, the bullshit, basically, of fucking issue to issue and what the fuck is happening here, and oh, now you gotta go out and buy this issue and shit. So, you know, we try to give you guys a little rundown of just some collected stuff that's good. And if you're looking for a break from some superhero stories, which, you know, I'm trying to catch up. I got a lot of fucking reading to do that I've been backed up on, I told you guys. Astronauts in Trouble on the Moon and The Alcoholic are definitely worth looking into if you're looking for something different. And speaking of independent books, we've got The Sword, which I really wish I read when the rest of the boys were reading this shit. It was one of those that I just never had the chance to get into, and I'm really glad I took the time and caught up on this. Steve was kind enough to loan me the graphic novels, and then I had to go out and buy my own. Oh, it's really good. This has a lot of what the fuck moments in it, man. 4 graphic novels worth: Fire, Water, Earth, Air, which of course any fan of Final Fantasy knows that these are the 4 elements. Basically, you've got the 4 fiends of elements, which are these 4 children of one god. We don't name him, I don't know whose god he is, but during the time of Greece, where there's like hundreds of gods, like Zeus, the god of thunder and the king of the gods, and Hera, the queen of the gods, and Aphrodite, the most beautiful goddess and shit, and you know, Jeff, the god of biscuits and whatnot. You've got these 4 individuals who are the children of one god, no name, and they all control one of the 4 different elements, and they descend upon humanity and say, hey, we're gonna rule you guys, because we're stronger than you. Fuck you. But one of the brothers is a little nuts, a little bit nuttier than the other 3, and just starts killing random humans. A couple of the people he kills is this guy Demetrios' family. Demetrios flips out and wants to kill these gods, but he has no way of doing that. So, basically, to kind of symbolize their unity and everything, these 4 siblings create a sword. Just cause. You know, basically saying like, none of us will try to war with the other anymore. You know, we're going to be equal and rule over the fucking roaches that are humans. So they make this sword as a symbol, like, because this is the only weapon that can hurt one of them. So the sister, Mala, gives it to Demetrios, and he kills Phaistos, the brother, the crazy one. And then the other 3 say, well, okay, you did your job, you got your revenge, give us the sword back. Demetrios is like, fuck you motherfuckers. I'm keeping this shit. You motherfuckers stay in check, live as humans, because you ain't ruling us. That's the whole plot line. Now fast forward 5,000 years later, where this family is attacked by these 3 people, these 3 god children, still living, and they're yelling at the father, claiming that he's Demetrios, like, we finally found you, this and that, you don't have the sword with you. And they kill him and the rest of the family, and they leave the crippled daughter to die in the house that's on fire. Still with me? Well, of course, the daughter falls through the basement of the house that's on fire as the floor crumbles and finds the sword. Father was Demetrios. And now the daughter goes on, takes this sword, which gives her fucking extraordinary superpowers. Think Superman. She gets the powers of a godchild, basically. And she now, following her father's legacy, so I'm going to kill the motherfuckers that killed my family. So, in like, basically like a video game style boss level type of thing, she goes around and in the other 3 books and sets out to kill the other 3 siblings. This is one of the most fun reads I ever had the privilege of experiencing. I read through 3 graphic novels in one day. And had I had the 4th and didn't have to Amazon the motherfucker, I would have read this shit right then and there. It's such a fast read. It's not like it's, you know, absent of dialogue, because there's a lot of it. It's just, you get so into it that you're like, wow. Like, I felt like a kid fucking spending, you know, 72 hours straight playing Final Fantasy. That's how I really felt reading this book. It's so good. I cannot recommend you this enough. The Sword by Image Comics, All full graphic novels you can probably get on eBay or Amazon for right around $50 for the whole thing. They do have like this, you know, big ass hardcover collected edition for like $10 more, it's like $60. And then they got this other $100 version, another hardcover book that I'm not sure what goes on with that. Maybe it's autographed or something. I don't know. I didn't really bother to take a look at it. I was just really anxious to read the story. And of course, you know, I can't buy one graphic novel. I gotta buy all four of them. I have to own this thing. This was that good. I cannot recommend you this enough. This has so many, like, holy shit moments that you will not help but smile while you're reading it. Do yourself a favor and go out and get The Sword by the Luna Brothers. These guys are nuts. They write some awesome shit. I'll tell you right now. Alright guys, I think that just about does it for me. I hear some cheeseburgers and some Budweisers calling my name. Let's turn you over to the rest of the boys and see what they got to review. And we will see you next week. Ciao.
Alright, so a lot came out this week. Let's start with Secret Avengers Fear Itself 13. It's not even written by Brubaker. There's no connection to the Secret Avengers really at all. It's mostly a Beast story. Beast, not B. The cover art is good. It's by Annie Gronoff, I think. Is that his name or her name? Yeah. The inside art is not that great. It's really not necessary. It's just that when they have a big, huge event, as always, they need to involve every single title into it in one way or another. And this is their way of doing it. Very loosely related to it. So hopefully 14 will pick back up with the regular Secret Avengers story, and that'll be that. Gotham City Sirens 23, still great. Artwork is really good, and the writing is really great too. So just, you know, Gotham City Sirens has been good throughout, but lately it's been really good. I have a bad feeling that they're ending the series, but because the way it seems that the three Sirens are kind of going their own way, but I hope that is not the case because it's such a good title. So highly recommended. I think Pete finally started picking it up too. He likes to wait 10-15 years before he picks some stuff up, but I'm not sure why. Sword. Ironically enough, that's what he's covering in his segment, so there you go. FF number 4. I like it. I don't know, I'm liking it. I'm very biased in favor of Fantastic Four. But I like it. I like them all having to get together to figure out how to stop these reads. It's all kind of coming together. The Atlantis story involving Sue, and now the Reed story involving, well, Reed, and it's all kind of like connecting. So, but I think it's great. So, at the very end, Mole Man comes with his legion, and who's in charge? Who's leading the charge? It's a different Reed. And Sue's like, huh? So, I don't know. I like it. I'm sorry. I like it. Carbon Gray. When I first came out, I looked at it. Looked awesome. Didn't pick it up for some reason, even though the artwork is like phenomenal. But then Ramon picked it up for probably a couple of reasons. The artwork is great and the booby factor. So it's a cool story. It's a little confusing, especially if we haven't read it from the very beginning. Because I read Ramon's, but I don't own the first two, so I'm going to go back and pick up the first two, Carbon Grays. But it's really awesome. I think this ends the storyline, and if you read the back, they explain that they're going to start a new storyline, and they're working on that as we speak. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's really great artwork. So the artwork alone, I highly recommend it. So Image. Uncanny X-Men 537. I think it's part 3. of the story arc concerning Breakworld and the Croons. Is that? Yeah, I like it. I like their story arc. It's pretty good, and the artwork is great. It's by the Dodsons. You know, their stuff is always great. A lot of action. You know, there's good dialogue, and it's necessary dialogue, not just over the top nonsense exposition crap. It's good dialogue. Kind of catches you up if you haven't been reading it. It's not really a great jumping on point. You should probably go back to 535 at the very least. But you know, the Dodson's artwork is always so great. And then let's just end this with, I didn't put this on my list. I do this too. I mean, I give the list to Ramon. He posts the list for everybody, and then sometimes when I'm there, there's a impulse buy, and I'll pick it up. So this is by Arden, who also does Flash Gordon. Why I couldn't think of that without looking at it, I'm not sure. I picked that up too and I read it, but I'll let Ramon usually covers everything, so I'll let Ramon handle that. But I picked up Minx, M-I-N-X, Andrea Grant's Minx. Dream War. The artwork, for the most part, is very good. There are some questionable panels, but especially like these splash pages are awesome. And the cover art is great. So basically, it's a little hard to say. I guess she's Native American and she used to live. I guess she moved away from her tribe or wherever she lived, and so her family kind of disowned her. She moved to New York City, you know, to follow her dreams. She's an artist, and something happens to her, and she goes into coma for 9 years, and then she's out of the coma. Something to do with dreams, and you know, when she's dreaming, everything seems so lifelike because she finds out that it actually is like things come true when she's dreaming. That's not just a dream; it's actually some sort of other reality or something. Yeah. For half Native American Minx, this is not superstition; it's reality. Her life has changed forever after suffering a vicious attack and slipping into a coma. She finds herself in dream time, the alternate reality that humans inhabit when they sleep. So, yeah, it says on the back cover there. So, I liked it. I mean, you know, it was good. The artwork, like I said, a lot of the scenes here, like this splash page here, is awesome too. So, I'd recommend it. I'm gonna see where it goes. See what happens with it. So, and like the tagline is, they say if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So I'd pick it up if I were you. If I were you, I'd pick it up because I picked it up, and I'm me. And being me and picking it up, if I were you, I'd pick it up because if I were you, I'd be me. But you, understand? Never mind. Happy Memorial Day. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to another episode of Basement. We're doing segments this week. P had some lesbian adventures to fulfill, and you know, the rest of us are with significant others or just sleeping. I am here reviewing my stack. Yes, you see how many books I got? A lot. But anyways, first book up, Flash Gordon #2, Invasion of the Red Sword, Part 2. Really good book, great art. We all in the basement fully support Arden and what they're doing with Flash. Honestly, I don't really care for them Atlas books. I'm saying it. Don't care for it. It's not my thing. It just isn't. Anyways, that aside, Dark Horse came out with 2 Conan books. Conan, Road of Kings. It's a good book. But King Conan #4 finished up this mini, and it was wonderful. Truly wonderful. Like, it truly showed King Conan, you know, as the king. Because the movies always alluded to it but never showed it. I don't know how many people out there have actually read Robert E. Howard. I mean, sure, you are our fans and might be into that stuff, so obviously you guys might know it. A lot of people don't. Robert E. Howard was a long time ago. This is some good shit that actually shows Conan as a true king and a kick-ass king, of course. No. No. Oh, Gotham City Sirens number 23. Wow. This is some crazy shit in this book. Like, truly showing that Batman has the best rogues gallery. Rogues gallery. Out there. Period. Hands down. Like, I would get into a geek argument with anybody over this shit. Bring it. Green Lanterns. Green Lantern number 66. Green Lantern Corps number 60. And Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 10. Damn. The shit that happened in this is just wow. Like, I don't know if DC knows that they have a event book out called Flashpoint that they should technically be concentrating on a bit more. But this book, it's like making Flashpoint look like a cheap $2 hooker. I mean, I don't know what Flashpoint's gonna do to top this, cause damn. Justice Society number 51. I love it. I truly do love this shit. Guggenheim is doing his shit. The art, Darren's art, it's okay. Could be better, but considering this team has like fucking 99.99 million members, he's doing a wonderful job. So I recommend it. It is jump on friendly-ish. So 51, so obviously there was a big old 50. And I hate my fucking hair. I would recommend it. I really would. Before we leave DC books, Drew Ward has a question. Do you think there will be a Marvel family book coming to DC? And if so, do you think it would be good? There's always a Marvel family book coming from DC. Always. It's always on the to-do list from DC. Will they ever get to it? I fucking hope so. It's overdue. It needs to be done right. They've done a lot of shit to the Marvel family. I mean, I forgot the name of the human host of the first Marvel, but he lost it, and then there was a quest for the rest of them, and then the Wizard Shazam was pissed. The Rock of Eternity was destroyed. Black Adam did whatever he did. You know, he has his own family, the Black Adam family, Isis and the other kid who came back through Brightest Day. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot going on, and that history needs to be fine-tuned, polished, or fucking destroyed. I don't know. I really hope they fix shit. Moving on. Kirby Genesis 0. The art in this is fucking phenomenal. Not only from fucking Alex Ross, but from the other guy. I forget his name right now. It escapes me. I'm sorry. I have still this many books that I need to look at. So, am I going to pick this up though? Number one, I don't know. This is 0 issue, and quite frankly, it's a buck. I'm like, why not? I don't know. It seems like it's a very deeply involved book. I don't know if I want to get into all this. I really, really don't. I mean, I pick up this many books. Do I want to pick up more? The art and the story is brilliant. Obviously, this is Kirby, so a lot of this stuff reminds me of Asgard and, you know, Apocalypse and New World. You know what I'm saying? But that aside, it's phenomenal. It really is good shit. We have GG Studios books, which I'm on the bubble about. Yeah, I'm definitely on the bubble with. But you'd be surprised which one I'm on the bubble with. First is Mediterranea, number 4. Good shit. It's moving along. It could be a bit faster, but it's 4 issues, and what do you expect? I don't think the first arc is over with. Good shit. Definitely good shit. Highly recommend it. The one was the one I thought I'd want to drop the most, but it's not. It's really picking up. It's a massive book. It's like Lord of the Rings meets titties. That I like that. Lord of the Rings and titties. Like, if everybody in Lord of the Rings were all females with big titties, it'd be hot. Like, busty hobbits. You know what I'm saying? Just like no dudes, just all chicks. You know, just anyways. Yeah, let me stop. So, phone's ringing. Yeah, bad. So, anyways, I highly recommend the one. It's very epic in scale. It's up to issue 4. Get it before it gets out of hand, because you cannot jump into an epic book halfway through. You just can't. Fuck that, you can't. Damn it. These two books are the ones I'm thinking of dropping. Rouge de Maisons Rouge. One's about the hookers. Go figure. And a skeleton story. Both of them are also up to issue 4. And I don't know. I mean, really, hookers. I like titties, but if that's the most you got going for a book, it's not for me. Last time I collected some shit that was because what's his name, Campbell, Danger Girls. But even then, that was a fun book. It really was a fun book. Skeleton story. Yeah, I'm not reviewing that. Carbon Gray number 3. If you're not picking this up, fuck you. That's all I'm saying. Not even gonna review it. Don't got to. Why? Because I told you to pick it up. You're not listening? Fuck you. Not reviewing that. Not reviewing that. Ducktales came from Kaboom. I think it's a Boom Studios book. I think. I could be wrong. I loved it. I loved the Disney afternoon. I am that old that I remember the Disney afternoon. I remember rushing home and seeing the Disney afternoon, and cannot say the Disney afternoon enough because it was a shit. I loved it, and it's puts a cheesy smile on my face. But I'm not picking up number 2. Captain America number 618. It's good. I don't see what they're gonna do with Bucky. I don't see him dying like some people think he might. But it's a good book. It really is. It's worth $3.99. I mean, I really recommend this shit. Brubaker's on point with this. Next week, Brubaker Criminal book's coming out, and at first I wasn't gonna pick it up, but after reading this, I'm like, fuck it. Brubaker's my homie now. Always has been, and he's continued to be. FF number 4. I don't care for the cover. You'll see the cover in a second. But this book was good. Probably the book of the week for me, which says a lot. Because it was Carbon Gray out this week, and you know, if you're not reading that, fuck you. The Council of Doom. All of Reed Richards' fucking enemies, and his father and daughter, sitting at the table on how are we going to beat Reed Richards. There's like 3 of them from alternate dimension. Now, yes, alternate dimension sucks. Time travel sucks. But this is some good shit. This really is. Really is. Book of the week. Mighty Thor number 2. Odin's up to some shit. Silver Surfer is coming, announcing the return of Galactus to Earth, but not for Earth. He specifically wants Asgard. I think he specifically wants whatever the hell Odin and Thor took out of the... I forgot the name of the tree. I cannot pronounce it even though I saw the movie. But yeah. Thor and Silver Surfer start something at the end of this book. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Jeez. This is good shit. This is like epic cosmic Thor, like done right. I'm really good. Like in this one he's fighting Silver Surfer, and another one he's fighting Ego. Sorry, Eon, totally different character. Good stuff. Secret Avengers number 13. It's a Fear Itself crossover. It's and as Marvel does with its crossovers, it's just really filler. This is really well written filler, and I liked it. It was good. Is it worth the $99? No, it's not. But it really is well written. I liked it. Wolverine number 9. You know they say how Wolverine's the best he is at what he does. I'm hoping they start showing this shit because, you know, so far the only thing I see is that Wolverine could heal, and because of that, he's the best at what he does. So he gets fucked up, he keeps on going. Big whoop. Could anybody with any factor do this then? Yes. Deadpool, Sabretooth, the list goes fucking on and on, alright? Let's see Wolverine at his best sooner rather than later. Because these, Marvel, you're on notice. I'm really getting fed up with your X-books. For instance, even though I like the book overall, X-Men Legacy number 249, more Holocaust shit, you know, and alright, the Holocaust was a tragic event in human history. It's disgusting. It's something that should never have happened. Yes, I admit it. I agree, and it was just, we should remember it and not to repeat it. That's the whole point of fucking history, so don't repeat our mistakes. But Magneto's been mentioning this shit since the Boondocks. Now, The Holocaust was how long ago? 70 years ago now, give or take. Really, guys? Really? If you're going to explain Magneto remembering his childhood during the Holocaust, explain how the fuck he's still alive. I'm just saying. He's still agonizing over this shit. Motherfucker's done horrible shit. And he's agonizing over some shit that happened to him as a teenager. But I do like the book. I like the way it's going, the team. I like the fact that him and Rogue, you know, in the end, chicken bow bow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways. Uncanny X-Men number 537. This is finishing up a storyline that started with, I believe, I don't remember, a while back, where space and the break world and Sword was introduced to Marvel, or at least to me it was, and I don't know, but it's okay. I'm hoping it gets better. But X-Men Legacy is so far my best of the X-Men team books, besides X-Force and X-Factor. I'm talking about the mainstream X-Men. X-Men, like X-Men Legacy, X-Men Uncanny, and X-Men. Those 3 books. You see why I want to drop some of these motherfuckers? But ever since Jim Lee in the 90s, I've been on X-Men books. Thank you, Jim Lee. And then you fucking abandoned me, become a vice president of DC, doing shit with your fucking time. Yeah, you're supposed to have a big announcement coming up, but you know what? That announcement don't mean shit to me. Because what you can do, 1 book? Big fucking whoop. Get back to fucking drawing, motherfucker. Get out of that damn desk. I'm done. Bye. 1 moment.
Alright! Let's do this, son. Word. Don't put that in. Vince and I decided, well, let's fucking cunt! It's fucking hot down here, man. Remember when I was complaining that it was too cold in the winter? Now it's hot and stuffy immediately. Where was spring? What the fuck happened to spring? We broke the earth. That's what happened. There's no spring, there's no fall, there's just hot summers and cold ass winters, and it goes by in a blink of a day. Ugh. That was dumb. What's up, everybody? Pete from the basement, back again with the Memorial Day segment of Pete's Basement. It is Memorial Day. That was stupid. Beer and barbecues. So, as soon as I'm done talking to you, fucking cunt. Go man zen. That was good. What's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood Pete's Basement crew back again with a segment episode. It's Memorial Day weekend, so you know what that means, right? Beer and barbecues. But before we get to the drinking and fucking cunt! There we go, that's a good one. Alright. What's up, everybody? This didn't look right. Increase the density of various objects. Now, he actually gives like a little scientific idea. Fucking cunt. I'll get to this eventually. I hate my life. Almost had it there.